chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Nesta isukame Claudia Shemo ya utayu. Shabete ya komera javeni kana vokayu tita pero yemu que ag.
De donde soy no nos rajamos, cualquier tierra la trabajamos. El sacrificio jamás es en vano, que hasta el espacio hemos llegado. Where we are from, no nos rajamos, and what we dream of lo realizamos. Gran paisano, hermano, amigo, soy mexicano. Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera, verde, blanco y rojo lo llevo en las venas. Como el águila volamos sin fronteras, rompemos la malla que separa tierras y nacimos con legado de grandeza. Extraño mi rancho, también mi familia, pueblo querido que no se me olvida, aunque de este lado me trajo la vida, siempre paradela como Pancho Villa. Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera, verde, blanco, rojo lo llevo en las venas. Como el águila volamos sin fronteras, rompemos la malla que separa tierras y nacimos con legado de grandeza.
A nuestras mujeres y madres inmigrantes, un ejemplo de fuerza y valor. ¡Y que viva México!
Y aunque el acta diga americano, hay en puro mexicano.
Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera, verde, blanco y rojo lo llevo en mis venas.
Como el águila volamos sin fronteras, rompemos la malla que separa tierras y nacimos con legado de grandeza.
Mi gente, por ahí andan las noticias que según quieren deportar a toda la raza trabajadora y les hicimos este corrido, compa Kevin.
Para que le pongan oído, dice más o menos así, compadre. Años tengo trabajando de este lado, buscando el mentado sueño americano.
Los gringos aquí ya no nos quieren, que según les estorbamos.
Se menciona mucho en los noticieros, traen muchos mitotes esos del gobierno.
Resulta ya quieren deportarme, en eso no estamos de acuerdo.
Resulta que por ser inmigrante mi valor es insignificante. Si supieran lo que batallamos para salir adelante.
Ya con día salimos a chambear, no creo que a nadie le hagamos mal. Ya quisiera verlos trabajando como lo hace este ilegal. ¿Y qué culpa tenemos nosotros los inmigrantes por querer buscar nuestros sueños? ¡Ánimo, mi gente! Y no se me rajen.
Y así suenan los de la norte, compa Jesús Méndez. Puro elegante récord, mi viejo. ¡Ay, ay, ay!
Unos días no duermo y otros como mal, pa' que a mi familia nada le pueda faltar.
Se murió mi madre y a mis padres, espero volverlo a mirar.
Canto por mi gente, no se vayan a agüitar, que Diosito es grande y de esta ley nos va a salvar.
Nomás acuérdense de Florida, nos volvieron a ocupar.
Resulta que por ser inmigrante mi valor es insignificante. Si supieran lo que hemos sufrido para salir adelante.
Día con día salimos a chambear, no creo que a nadie le hagamos mal. Ya quisiera vernos trabajando como lo hace este ilegal.
El autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Yep. It worked. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Good to have you, BK brothers. All praise to the Most High that I got started early. You know what I mean? Anyhow, hope you guys been doing pretty good so far. Let me move some things around because they actually moved on me. Shoot. Let me try this. It's usually over here. Anyhow, all right. So, shalom, saludos, buenas noches, buenos días for you that are far away, and buenas tardes too. I have a topic to talk about obviously the title doesn't really relate to what I'm going to bring up. I mean, it does in a sense, but honestly, the reason why I say let it burn is because this is what needs to be done. You know, there comes a time where you learn about who you are, not according to people. You know, we've been told that so many times. Somebody brought this up yesterday, and I didn't read it, but you deal with the surroundings. You obviously see what's going on. You know what I mean? We've all been called, not just names like, hey, fat ass, or hey, you skinny dude, or hey, you big headed. You know what I'm saying? Not talking like that. I'm talking about some racist shit. Beaner, spick. And you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about until somebody explains it to you. At first, you know, you're probably making a smile like, hey, what's up, man? It's all good. You know what I'm saying? So, Ecclesiastes 7:7 kind of summarizes this. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. No, sometimes people tell you, hey, don't worry about it, man. Just live life, enjoy life. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about that. It doesn't pertain to you. Surely oppression, which you see, which you and I have seen, makes you upset. And then you come at first, and you know, it builds up hate, right? But the scriptures say clearly not to have hate. So then eventually you start developing this sort of balance where you understand that you're fucking mad, not hateful. Like, it's not my job. It's history. It's what it says. And somehow, some way I connect to it. And that's what matters. Because then it can make sense out of things. Then I can make sense out of things. Let me start up with this real quick. And this is the reason. There's a reason behind this, because obviously I'm going to show a video of a brother right now to start it off. It's about 8 minutes 9. Thought he had a good message. And he said this, Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Now, I'm going to show you throughout this session, I guess, videos, scriptures, some books, some pictures to identify particular things about particular people and why I say let it burn. Because it doesn't pertain to you. Now, if you understand the scriptures, then you would know that you have to accept both salvation and destruction of the enemy. That's what the Bible says. Like it also says faith and works, not just faith and some grace. It don't work that way. He said this. Zephaniah 1, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. So let me play it real quick. I appreciate that message, brother. Let's go.
Destruction is coming. America, you are being prepared for blood, as it is said in Ezekiel 35. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. Oh, remember? 1492? Mexico might be on the way. Mexico might be on the way to the first woman president. You know, if so, let it be. All praise to the Most High. Right? It is what it is. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Ways is an older message, but the funny part, but I didn't even give you guys a story. So I know this brother. We know we've talked now, obviously on the phone and everything. Talked for a while, known him for a couple of years. But it wasn't that, you know, I saw it through his channel on TikTok, I think at that time. It's someone else had actually forwarded to me. And literally I just got it. And I'm like, oh, shoot, let me check this out. And yeah, so I'm sharing it with you. Oh, my bad. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go.
Right? It is what it is. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Right? America over here being run by some goddamn devils. Right? From Jump Street. These devils have been running this country for a long time. Imagine this, a Mexican president. Holy sheep shit, what? Yeah, Mexican president, do what we gotta do. What happened? Now we got the woman president in Mexico. Now we unite the two nations, make them one again. It's like the book says, Ezekiel 35, 37, 21, right? The two sticks made one, made whole, never to be separated again. Speak to the bad that dry bones. Wake up, people. The sooner we wake up fully, as a whole, as a nation, as a people undesired, as a nation undesired, we come together like butt cheeks and we rise like yeast. As the book says, the prophecies, that the Most High, the Father, the hand. He will reach out his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people. Of his people shall recover the remnant. I shall bring them back into their land, to their fold, and never to be separated again. They won with him to rule for 1,000 years. It is our turn. It's our turn. The blacks had their rule. We know who's in rulership now. And you think that he's just going to leave us out without and not flourish again? Pay attention. All Israel shall be saved. All of Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation. Woe without end. It was because for our sakes he made the world. So is Israel's portion, for their sakes I made the world. Their sons and their daughters shall come bending down to the soles of thy feet. I'm just, letting y'all know what's going on, what's happening, what's going down. What's going down, as the scripture says. Yeah. So all this little paperwork, YouTube group, this, that, and the third, it ain't gonna matter. That's why I can't continue doing it, because it ain't gonna matter. Destruction is coming. America, you are being prepared for blood, as it is said in Ezekiel 35. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. Oh, remember 1492? Remember 1492? Y'all don't want to remember that one, do y'all? Y'all want to remember what the shit y'all have done. I'm going to remind y'all right here. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir desolate, and cut off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men in the hills, and in thy valleys. And in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee a perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall shall not return. And thy cities shall not return. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast said, these two nations and those two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33, and it reads, So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell. For I, the Lord, dwell amongst the children of Israel. Genesis 49 and 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. Unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Matthew 13:39. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. Verse 30. Let them both go together until the time of the harvest. In the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together the tares, and bind them in bundles, but gather my wheat into my barn. Where does this start at? Revelation 14:14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud sat one like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in the sickle, and reap, for the time of the harvest, for the time for thee to reap is come, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Genesis 49:11. And it reads, Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine. From the book of Micah chapter 6 verse 2, and it reads, Hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and ye strong foundations of the earth. The Lord hath a controversy with his people, and will plead with Israel. Joel 3, For behold, in those days and in that time I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and have parted my land. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Now, I'm not going to give you all of it. If this is marinating with your spirit, like and share. If it's not for you. It's time to separate the wolves from the sheep. So if it marinates with you, share it, like it. I threw some extra in there, but it's not in the proper order, but it somewhat is, kind of, sort of, but I just kind of, added. I fed in flow with something else that I put out there before. If you've been following me, I put this out there before in pieces. Well, here's a bigger piece, but you have to puzzle it together, right? Prophecies have to happen in order. This is a prophecy. The Messiah from the beginning, they tell you from the beginning, 49, unto him shall the gathering. There's going to be a gathering of people, the wicked and the righteous. The wicked and the righteous. Oh, you just got to believe. Pour that juju. If y'all can't see it, if y'all can't see the deception and just believe, that's all you got to do. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. I said, I understand it all. I understand what they're doing now with the burst of weekend. I understand that. He put me there first. Put me there first. And now I was going to jump head in. It's not what he had planned for.
That's a powerful message right there, bro. So if you guys know who this brother is, if you don't, well, I guess it ain't for you. He had made a good point, made me think about the scripture, because a lot of times we read and hear about these gazillionaires, trillionaires nowadays. I guess there's one potentially to be. And what they're going to do, or at least what the Most High is going to do in those times. So Isaiah 2:17, watch this real quick. And it's pretty interesting. And then loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low. And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And the idols he shall utterly abolish. And they shall go into holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for the fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. That's when he was going through that. It reminded me of it, which also brings me to this point real quick. And again, the first steps to anything about this great heritage of ours is it all starts with repentance. That's when you start that process, you will start seeing things clearly, or much more clear. Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever. You see what I'm saying? The heritage. It's the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. You get what I mean? So that we may do all the words of this law, which again, it's a spiritual awakening. Regarding the two sticks coming together, I think I showed you guys a class, and I showed you a picture of the two people hung, well, at least they were hung like on a tree or on a post, with the Messiah, right? A brother had sent it to me. The concept was the unity of the two sticks, so to speak, right? Psalms 25:14. The secret of I'm moving it over here. I got two translations. So give me a second, fam. Psalms. Let me go here. Chapter 25, verse 14. And it reads, the secret of the Lord is with them that fear him. So again, the first thing I said was the best thing about our heritage is the fact that, that with repentance, you start seeing clearly. I mean, I don't know I don't know how else to say it. Even in any, okay, I'll give you an example. That's why people that have like these extreme isms, right? Like extreme addiction that have to end up like at the rock bottom. They have to go to get like help and shit, end up at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Get recovery, all of it, right? When you get to that point, you pretty much understand, like, you are basically naked, man. I'm telling you, you're fully, like, you're naked in the street. At that moment, you have nothing but to ask for help, and you're so much in fear, you got nothing but to submit, which is why the other scripture talked about in regards to the noble men will bow, but the haughty men, he'll make sure that they get effing low. So the secret of the Lord is with them that fear him regarding repenting. Repenting is a big process for us to start growing because these people are getting crazy. And again, I'm only showing you who they are, historically speaking, because what I do is I like to show you other roots, so then we don't just go by pictures and assumptions of other people. This is why the secrets belong unto who that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. And what is a covenant? The agreement, right? The wisdom. I mean, what the hell are we in this for? Just to, you know what I'm saying, have land and shit? Well, you can have land and be stupid. What's the point of it? If you don't know how to manage yourself, well, with wisdom and understanding, or even seeing history for what it is, I mean, come on, man, let's be real. But, you know, again, who do these things belong to? Let's go to Deuteronomy. I'll show you real quick. He even mentioned it here. Real early, he talked about this. Deuteronomy 4:13. And write these things down. And he declared unto you his covenant. Como dijo el hermano Israel, que no, así. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform. He didn't command no other nations. I mean, I'll tell you what, I've said it before, man, and there's brothers that can't agree. Every nation had their chance to repent, family. That's not a... I mean, shoot, man, Esau was supposed to have the birthright. Then he gave up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like there was other people ahead of us. Remember how the whole category with the 12 tribes as well? You see what I'm saying? I mean, he could have just said, you know what, Moses was righteous. The scriptures say Moses was righteous, man. You know what I'm saying? He fucking talked to Moses like, yeah, what's up, man? He didn't do that to Abraham. Abraham was born in idolatry, for God's sakes. I need some water. Hold on. Moses was apparently perfect, righteous. Abraham was born from idolatry. Those are facts. Yet he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform. Even the 10 commandments. Now, this is not just the 10 commandments for you dummies. You know, this is like more than the 10 commandments. So you guys are over here talking about arguing, oh, I want to put the 10 commandments on every school. Yeah, but you know what? Letters do not matter if you don't practice them spiritually, okay? It doesn't work that way with these things. And he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. So, once again, he gave who? His covenant, those commandments to perform. We're talking about secrets declared, right? That's why scriptures always talk about this. And even Job, I believe 8:8 says it regarding for inquiring. So the brother was saying, listen, I bring you guys different videos, you piece them together. It's an actual walk. And I'll tell you, it is a marathon. It takes time. But if you're not so-called addicted to this, like, then I don't know. Job says, for I inquire, I'm sorry, Job 8:8. Job. For I inquire, I pray thee, of the former age. So he says, I ask you to please, you know, look into the past and prepare thyself to search of their fathers. Okay, so, and once again, we're talking about a covenant. We're talking about secrets within a covenant. And how do we gain those things back? Well, the first things we do is we actually search. The first things we do is we search. Isn't that what all of us did? Like, well, man, I wonder where I'm from. What tribe am I from? You know, just considering you're like raza. Like, oh, I'm from the Chichimeca tribe. Well, I'm Taino tribe. Well, I'm Azteca tribe and da tribe. And you know what I mean? That's where it started. That's what I think. That's what happened to me. I talked to a lot of brothers, and that's what happened to them. Right? So it says Deuteronomy 32:7, which is totally righteous, which the scriptures say. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations, because guess what? All of us considered the days of our generations, Pancho Villas, you know what I'm saying? All of those histories that are barely being brought to our attention. Because remember, keep in mind that in the Lutheran newsletter of 1900, on September 7th, this Protestant guy, a Lutheran guy, he was writing against the Catholic Church. And in that year, 1900, meaning 1900, September 7th, he published an article which stated that the Bible was prohibited from being printed in Mexico since 1533, when the first printing press showed up in this land, all the way through 1830 something. However, even throughout that time, well, actually, I'm sorry, in 1835 to 38, you could buy some, but it was in a volume, like 25 books, and it cost about $200 to $300. Imagine what that is at that time. Okay. Now, here's a catch: in the 1900, like September, right? Only about 5% of the population was literate. Do you guys realize that a lot of the war that Pancho Villa and Zapata were involved in, specifically Pancho Villa, was to help our people learn how to read? He was one of the biggest influences in order to build more schools so our people can learn how to read, man. But that's important to the topic of where that's at hand. Because people sometimes, you know what I'm saying, even these so-called scholars or well-versed in history are fucking dumb, excuse my language. And they say the dumbest shit without considering, well, why exactly do people do or think that way? So let's go back to the scriptures. Remember the days of old. Well, consider the years of many generations. All of us have done that. We're here now. This is the next step now. For you that are new to this channel, maybe this is the next step, right? You're like, okay, I like that. I found that. But you know what, man? There's a spiritual thing that I'm missing. What's next? Boom. Here we go. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. Now, sometimes fathers and elders can be interpreted as spiritual brothers and sisters, right? I'm not saying that go and listen to them, and none of that BHI crap. It just means sometimes you get certain information from certain people that may not be of like your actual related ones. Like, for example, myself. I'm not related to y'all directly, but I'm sure there's people that are way younger than me, for example. So, and I learned that from someone else. And then pieces together that was given to me, I started piecing them together, and then now I became who I am, right? So it's a process. And again, when it comes to the process, do not forget that there's a letter with the R that you never have to forget that's called repentance. And that's technically the process, right? So it goes hand in hand with a lot of things. I hope I'm not throwing a lot to y'all, but maybe next time, next class you'll catch. I'm going to share this with y'all. And this is why it says, consider thy ways, consider who our parents are, right? Let me show you a video. I want to show you this video, man. Because a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, when I don't get involved in political stuff, but I saw this shit, right? So the reason why I bring up the covenant, consider your ways, go back, like try to find out who you are according to the Bible, correct? Because in this book, there's instructions on how to deal with people. You get what I'm saying? There's instructions on how to deal with people. And if you don't have those instructions, you'll just get carried away with the wind, right? All emotional, getting upset about shit. But when you have those instructions, when you have these instructions on how to, then you start saying, I know, I understand. And now I understand why. Now, I did a class about maybe a year ago of how they were still shipping a lot of our Maya brothers from the Tabasco, right, to Cuba, all right? That was real stuff in 1848 through 1860. So I just find it funny that this was even occurring. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. The reason I'm sharing this with y'all is because I'm going to show you something very interesting. Let's go.
With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on fighting. And together, we will make America great again. Ay, 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 por Dios.
Oh, shit. Right. This is what I mean. But let's continue. Hey, I do want to say this real quick. There was one guy here that said something funny, and he sung the song and shit. Everybody was talking shit, to be honest with you, because I'm going to show you something very interesting and shit. But there's a guy or somebody here that actually posted a song that changed the word. There it goes right there. It says, ay, por Dios, me va a deportar el Donald Trump. But anyways, that's not the point. I don't want you to lose track of where I'm going with this, okay? You know, the interesting thing is how if you don't know who your history is from, you're going to be misled by any nation. You'll just be part of the win of their history. Let's continue.
Mi gente sale a votar sin miedo a la calle. No hay miedo. No te quedes en la casa. Así que tú no me falles.
You heard that? Hey, he said, listen, no tengas miedo, cabrón. Dice, no tengas miedo, güey. Tú vete a votar, cabrón. No te preocupes. No te van a hacer nada. Right?
Repítelo. Ay, 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 por Dios. Ay, por Dios. Yo voy a votar. ¿Por quién? Por Donald Trump. Mi gente sale a votar sin miedo a la calle. No hay miedo. No te quedes en la casa. Así que tú no me falles.
Okay, so we heard it from the horse's mouth. He said it himself. This is why it's very, very, very important. Okay? This is why you have to be in this book because you even if sometimes your walk is lonely or maybe it's just you and your fam, who cares? It's less interesting than falling for the folly like that. Sirach 23:1, because guess what, family? The shit, when it comes back, it bites you hard. And that's the way it works. Sirach 23:1 says, O Lord, Father and Governor of all my life, lead me not to their counsel and let me not fall by them. Now, it says here, you can leave it here, right? Leave it there. And it applies to them, technically. Let me not fall by them now. But this specifically is talking about us, the mind, correct? Who will set scourges over my thoughts and the discipline of wisdom over my heart? My mind, meaning that spare me not for my ignorance and it pass not by my sins. Because there's total ignorance. It's I don't want to say stupidity. I think it's ignorance. You should have learned, you should have read. Let not my ignorance increase. Oh my dear Jesus. This is what I'm saying, because the guy literally said, look, like, and I hate to say it, but damn, bro, you literally told your people to go ahead and get cut out. Watch.
Mi gente sale a votar sin miedo a la calle.
He says, mi gente sale a votar sin miedo a la calle. ¿Ya ven? Sin miedo, dice. Sin miedo. ¿Sabes qué? No te preocupes. No hay preocupación. There's no worries. Sirach 23:8. The sinner shall be left in his foolishness. Both the evil speaker and the proud shall fall thereby. They were proud, man. This is a problem with some of you so-called indigenous, or what you want to call yourselves, Latinos, or hey, look, I'm talking to indigenous brothers here. So if you don't agree with that, then maybe I'm not talking to you. But if you do believe that and you fell for this shit, the sinner shall be left in his foolishness. Both the evil speaker and the proud shall fall thereby. And a lot of these other so-called nations, tribes, and people like us fell for a lot more pride, felt a lot better than saying, I don't want these Mexicans here. That sounded a lot better. They weren't, now they're dealing with Venezuelans, Nicaraguenses, right? But before it was all these Mexicans. And now what's going to occur? Check this out. This is the embarrassing part about things. Yeah, they're all proud, but look at this news right here. Oh, no, sorry. Okay, so hold on. And check this out. This is a politician. I forgot about this. This is a politician from Cuba. And she's like, no va a haber deportación masiva. You hear me? She said it. See, she says there's not going to be any deportation. Okay, so listen into this, and then I'll be quiet. Just for a few.
Eso es lo que el expresidente Trump quiere.
¿Qué fue lo que hizo Obama en los 4 años que estuvo?
Pero eso es lo que ha prometido Trump. Y por eso le llamaron deportador en jefe a Obama.
Todos, ¿no estás viendo de que los demócratas han jugado con nosotros, los hispanos, han jugado por 35 años prometiéndonos algo, escúchame, algo que nunca llega, que es una reforma migratoria.
¿Y que no
Yo
ocurrió?
tuve que escribir la reforma migratoria, está ahí, y estoy esperando de que nos apoyen tanto con los republicanos y los demócratas. El problema es que los republicanos nunca han prometido nada y los demócratas llevan 35 años engañando a
Ninguno
tu
de los dos
público.
lo han hecho. Déjame
¿Sí o
terminar
no?
con otra
¿Sí o no?
cosa.
35 años engañándonos.
Termino con otra cosa.
Dime.
Su candidato,
Dime.
los demócratas creen que es un peligro para la democracia porque hoy todavía no reconoce que perdió en el 2020.
Lo que yo considero que es un gran problema para la democracia es que la señora Harris gane. Porque la señora Harris no tiene,
No, pero
dame los 30 segundos, no tiene
Donald,
los
es que no está
valores.
la pregunta es, Donald Trump no ha reconocido que perdió en el 2020.
Eso pasó hace 4 años, vamos a hablar ahora del
¿Y
24.
no ese es un peligro para la democracia del 24?
El peligro es que la señora Harris imponga lo que se llama woke, que es estar hablando a los niños de sexo en el kindergarten, que no son los valores que tenemos nosotros los hispanos, que nosotros creemos en Dios, creemos en la familia, creemos en la vida, no queremos un gobierno grande.
Pero el tema es
y
que su
queremos
candidato no ha
permita.
aceptado que perdió.
Pero es que da lo mismo si lo hace, eso no importa ahora para el tipo que tiene que ir al supermercado y tiene que pagar 10 dólares.
You get the picture. For some reason, some of y'all think that by being loud, you're going to be fucking right. And you literally, you sound stupid when you're trying to be louder without legitimate proof. Sirach 11:29 says this. Now, this is, I guess like the other video the other day. Well, we should have learned a lesson. That's what the Edomite said. Well, they should have learned. They should have basically saying, well, we're stupid for falling for that, right? Sirach 11:29 says, bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains. You understand that? This could be an individual. This could be several people, groups. For the deceitful man hath many trains, many tricks. It says, like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud, and like a spy, watcheth he for thy fall. So basically, they may appear to be friendly. Isn't that what happened in 1492? Martaino brothers, right? What happened? Y'all were being friendly, that's the story, and then back, started hacking y'all. They act like, all good because they're in a cage. That whole concept, and you pat them, they don't do shit. But as soon as you let them fools out, man. So is the heart of the proud, and as a spy, watcheth he for thy fall. Now it says, for he lieth in wait, you see that? And turneth good into evil. Now he lieth in wait. What ended up happening? How are we here today? When you look at history, that's exactly what occurred. It was never officially taken. Remember, if you really consider, well, let's say, well, from what I understand, the biggest contributor to the destruction, obviously the curses, but smallpox had a big deal. I wonder sometimes if we would exclude the curses. Let's say that never happened. Based on history, man, it would have been a different way. For he lieth in wait, because if they were supposed to be who they were, they should have just came through hardcore. No, but through deception, and even we see it throughout the years from when the land used to be in some names, and all of a sudden, piece by piece, supposedly treaties were the reason for it. But no, for he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil. Now, what are we now? I mean, look, I'll give you an example. Where are we? Estamos en las Américas, ¿verdad? Claro. ¿De dónde son los europeos, güey? Where are they from? Right, Europe. Those are facts, right? And when they talk about here and over there in the same breath, as in, wait, hold on a second, bro. Like, what? You're not gonna just carve your way through this shit and all of a sudden exclude certain people. It doesn't work that way here. It never has. And it never will. There's no Nazism accomplishment here that's going to ever occur, ever even get to that limit. I'm going to tell you that right now because we're not in that environment. You guys, and the way things look, you don't have the power. Those are just facts. For he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil, and things worthy praise will lay blame upon thee. Just waiting. Let me show you this video. Look, I got the end of it, right? And we're talking about people that supposedly supposedly went through a Holocaust situation. You know, things were really bad. Nazis supposedly treated them horribly. I can understand stupidity. Maybe you just don't get it. But this right here, this hate,
fentanyl into this country, who are responsible for dead and slaughtered Americans. And I don't know what's broken in the Washington press corps, that none of that moves them emotionally. The only thing that gets them exercised is, do we need to have more trials for terrorist supporters? Do we need to have more trials for gangbangers? Do we need to have more trials for illegal alien invaders? Even though Congress and the Constitution clearly say that you can expel invaders and illegal aliens quickly, efficiently, and properly. This president has literally saved America, and I could not be prouder. I could not be prouder, as I know Caroline feels the same way, to come every single day to this building where we have a leader sitting in office whose first, last, and every thought is the safety, prosperity, security, and sovereignty of the citizens. That's an important word, people. Citizens of this republic. Agreed.
This is exactly what I mean by these particular words when you say invasion. So, you know, let's start questioning this fucking question. I'm going to be very here, I guess, blunt. Let's stop the bullshit. Everybody's talking about anti-Semitic. So let's say you call me anti-Semitic. All right, sounds good. Let's say I don't know. Let's say I'm a court, right? You're my accused of anti-Semitism. Well, my question is going to be, well, okay, can you explain what anti-Semitism means so I can understand what they're trying to say? Okay, well, can you explain what, like, not anti, but Semitism? Okay, sounds good. Can you tell me where that word comes from? Okay, sounds good. So then now in this case, can you tell me, since we're using the Bible, what root I'm from? How can you prove that I'm not Semitic? And now we need to answer that question. Since you guys keep saying anti-Semitism, okay, sounds good. Because guess what? Then who the hell are we? Who the hell are we? Huh? What's this anti-Semitism shit? Yet all of a sudden, where's Hamites or Japhites? Who are they? When is it anti-Hamitic? You know, I'm an anti-Hamite or I'm an anti-Japhite. How come we never argue about that shit? Oh, that's it. Right? No, these people, and I'm saying it, you guys are evil. You Khazars have a very evil spirit. Yes, and you're part of the Edom crew. You guys are evil spirit. I mean, you honestly have no understanding what's going on. You say invasion and rapists, like every person that doesn't have documentation is a fucking rapist. That's what you're saying. But what if we say, oh man, you Jewish people, man, you guys are rapists, you guys are pedophiles. Look how you bite the babies, pee-pee and shit all the time in your little Talmudic shit that you practice. What does that sound like? I mean, shit, you're saying that basically every undocumented person is a rapist. Well, then, based on what you guys do, then every Jewish person is a pedo because you guys bite the pee-pee off the boys. I mean, isn't that the case? Let's start asking some serious questions here. I'm disgusted with the easy way, just like, basically like we're cockroaches, man. And I'm sick and tired of being called a fucking cockroach. The cockroaches are you guys. Because we see the action. It has nothing to do with just me emotional and you guys have a better life. I'm not jealous of what you have. I'm like literally like, my mind is like, I can't believe you have no soul in you. All those children that are literally dying over there in Gaza. You care about children, supposedly, Miller time? You guys really care about children, but you're giving money over there to Israelis who don't even belong there in the first place. Run the DNA on them. Why don't we just prove it? You guys want to produce DNA on a bunch of people? Then run DNA on them. Oh, which one is it? Is it science? Is it biblical? And then is science, like, does it relate to government, or is government even dealing with Bible now? Like, what are we doing? See, you see, fam. There is a prophecy that speaks about when a country becomes an imperial, then it becomes a church and state after that. And then destruction comes, like the brother said. Because listen, this is the spirit, and unfortunately, you guys have that spirit. I mean, I don't understand how you have zero compassion. Zero. I know there's criminals, but you want to know something? There's criminals of all freaking colors, man. Of all colors. Hey, that's a good point. And then this is on YouTube. There's videos on YouTube that say the country of Israel is a pedophile haven. Because technically, if you're a pedophile and you're one of those people, you can actually stay there. And they cannot, matter of fact, they don't even arrest them. As far as I know, you guys don't even do shit about that shit. Man, that's just sad, bro. So we're talking about a spirit that hates our gente. That's why it talks about, a brother said, that was the whole point. That's why I played this video. I think the funny part was we'll come together like butt cheeks. That shit was funny. You know what I mean? To me, it was funny. So this is, it all entails with where we're going in line. I'm showing you who we are, and then I'm going to show you how we can identify these people, because it's not just talk here. It's not just emotional talk. These are facts. These are facts. And I'm going to show you from the horse's mouth, from their books. Okay? Let's go.
Ellos no están acostumbrados a respetar las soberanías de los pueblos. Ayer, por ejemplo, sacó el Departamento de Estado una resolución hablando de que en México se violan derechos humanos, y ellos situándose como los jueces del mundo. Nosotros somos respetuosos con ellos. Ellos deberían de ser respetuosos con nosotros. Nosotros no les decimos, ¿y por qué tienes a un candidato hostigándolo en los juzgados? ¿Y por qué destinas miles de millones de dólares para la guerra? ¿Y por qué no liberas a Assange, que lo tienen encarcelado injustamente? ¿Y por qué no atiendes a los jóvenes de Estados Unidos que fallecen por la adicción a las drogas, al fentanilo? ¿Y por qué reprimes, maltratas a los migrantes? Nosotros no emitimos una carta de buena conducta porque no nos corresponde, pero ellos se quedaron con la manía de hace 200 años, desde la doctrina Monroe.
See, that was important that he brought that up. Desde la doctrine, the Monroe Doctrine, which has everything to do with manifest destiny or so-called sphere of influence. There's a lot of books that I've actually shared with y'all before. Let me see if I can. I'm not going to read them. I'm not going to read it right now, but I will suggest some that I have that were very good. And oh shoot, man, I always move them around. I'm always grabbing them. Give me a second. At least one. Come on. Excuse me. At least one. Where are you? It's way over there. Anyways, there's several books. Maybe I'll give me a second. Oh, my bad. So I would at least consider reading these two books. One is, I think it's required, if they still have Chicano studies. My wife took Chicano studies, right? She actually has credits as an associate, so she's, I guess, somewhat educated. And in this book, man, it's tremendous. It talks about the Monroe Doctrine, Manifest Destiny, it's the sphere of influence. And then the other one, it's called The Deportation Machine by Adam Goodman. The Deportation Machine. It's going to give you a historical analysis, understanding of what occurred and how this is nothing new. I'll give an example. He said on page 41 of the book, William Randolph Hearst, the nation's most powerful media mogul, we know who, that's Khazar, repeatedly used the pages of his 28 newspapers, which reached 5.5 million daily subscribers and 7 million people on Sunday, to call for deportations, just like this guy. Just like this guy. Same Khazar. Media mogul. I mean, they always run that shit, right? This is I'm talking about 1929, fam. 1929, okay? To call for deportation and harsher immigration laws. The farmers rid his barns of rats, this hen house of weasels, good housekeeping, wage ceaseless wars against vermin, and employers will not have dishonest people about them. You see what he called us? He called us rats. He called us hen house weasels. He called us vermin. And you don't think these people say that shit in private? Khazars, you so-called or self-described Jewish people. We keep demanding, and a matter of fact, your famous Noam Chomsky agreed that you guys do have that Khazarian bloodline.
Que es un criminal sionista, lo digo abiertamente, él apoyó a Trump y es íntimo de Netanyahu. Entonces, cuando llegó Netanyahu a Dallas, Texas, que había un grupo de judíos o israelíes, no sé cómo se diga ya eso, le decían, oye, ¿por qué persigues tanto a los palestinos? Y les dice, los palestinos son para nosotros los israelíes lo que los mexicanos son para ustedes en Estados Unidos. Entonces, yo veo la palestinización de los mexicanos en Estados Unidos.
Con todos los componentes.
¿Cómo?
Con todos los componentes, porque primero Estados Unidos le roba el territorio a México, después le termina de construir un muro, después los ataques xenófobos y racistas por un componente étnico y religioso también. ¿Qué falta?
Bueno, falta el último capítulo. Vamos a empezar a ver, hay que tenerlo en el escenario, una gran discriminación sobre los mexicanos. Eso a mí me queda muy claro. Y Estados Unidos, porque aquí la pureza blanca del WASP, del racismo, supremacismo, es igual que la pureza inventada de los nuevos judíos del siglo XXI, que ni son semitas. Lo digo con responsabilidad. Hoy uno llega a Tel Aviv y el 25% habla ruso. Son de origen házaro. Los házaros, lo digo también con definiciones puntuales, son mongoles centroasiáticos. No son semitas. En Estados Unidos, que es un criminal.
But he also agreed and said, but it doesn't matter because based on standards, he's going to be a Jew no matter what, and you can't change that. Yeah, I agree. But are you really? So can you claim the fame based on your so-called DNA? You guys are supposed to be all about science, right? But yeah, you ignore that. How come that doesn't matter? And why do we get to see the same shit again and again? This is almost 100 years ago, fam. This is October 1929. William Randolph Hearst basically pushed media to call for deportation and harsher immigration laws. So the farmer rids his farm of rats, his hen house of weasels, good housekeeping, wage ceaseless wars against vermin. You see that? And employers will not have dishonest people about them. No man keeps his own house, those that are enemies of his family, and for any other reason harmful. Uncle Sam should clear his house, clear it thoroughly of all undesirables. The deportation machine. Now you understand why AMLO said, like, these guys are proud. They forget who they are. Sirach 6 and 7. Again, if thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first. Be not hasty to credit them. Why? For some man is a friend for an occasion. Nomás cuando le conviene. Es tu amigo, es tu compañero. And will not abide in the day of thy trouble. How many people have experienced that shit? When you supposedly they're your friends, and all of a sudden when you need them, they disappear. What happened in 1492? I mean, let's reconsider these things, family. Look, I'm going to be real about this, because a lot of people nowadays are like, oh my God, I don't talk to my so-and-so because they voted for Trump. I'm going to tell you something. You guys that are over here making TikTok videos and recording shit and F around and found out. Okay, back in 2016. So unfortunately, I have an Edomite brother-in-law, right? Married my sister a long time ago, has 2 kids, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we were friends, right? At that time, I wasn't into the scriptures much or nothing. I didn't know anything about that. No, we were friends. I guess we got along because we used to, I used to smoke, right? With him every now and then. So, this is not since I was younger. But in 2016, when the trumpet man came into the picture, I started noticing how he was sharing his thoughts about that situation with me, because obviously my family wasn't agreeing with him. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not into that shit. Then I started noticing how he was very confident about it. And I said, well, bro, listen, don't you understand that my family went through that, right? My brother was like that for a long time, didn't have papers and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was crossing the border out. This was in the 80s. You should know better, fool. What the hell are you talking about? And then he started mentioning some shit that he thought it was funny. I mean, he thought it was funny that, oh yeah, I'm just going to maybe contact my Aryan brothers. And I said, wait, what? So it made me think, hold on, man. You married my sister. You know my family. You know exactly what's going on. For this guy to be calling our gente that way, bro, murderers, rapists, you're saying all our families like that. I haven't talked to that person since 2016. So I knew at that moment, almost 10 years ago, I made that decision. You guys that are barely making the decision, all arguing and making videos on YouTube oh yeah, you just found out, man. It took Kamala Harris to make that decision for you? You should have let go of your so-called friends way back then. That was a so-called family member. If thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some man is a friend for his occasion. He voted for Trump twice. Actually, 3 times. Do you think he cares about I don't have any cousins that didn't have papers, but I have some friends that don't have papers. You think he didn't know them? Of course he knew them. He met them. He worked with them. He's a dumbass. And will not abide in the days of thy trouble. And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach. Again, some friend is a companion at the table, meaning when it's good, he's your friend, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. So, for example, what are you talking about, George? Because that's his name. And his last name is Reich. You spell it that way. I forgot to tell you that. His last name is Reich. There's a lot of those guys. It's just funny to me. Again, some friends is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. It's like, yo, man, you're going to affect a lot of our people, man. What the hell? Don't you know our history? It didn't matter to him. Well, then I guess we're not the same people. I don't care how so-called cool we were. And I have not spoken to my sister since then. Because I figured, you married this piece of shit. What are you talking about? Oh, literally, I think at that time she voted for Trump too. Shit. She was the first Cuban bee. She was like, I voy a votar for Trump. But again, the scriptures literally give you instructions on how to foresee things. But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and will be bold over thy servant. See? But in thy prosperity, meaning after 1848, when all the states were taken, he will be as thyself, meaning now I'm the Native American. And will be made bold over thy servants. In a sense, now they own this shit, right? Hey, the scriptures don't lie, family. Which is why it says, if thou be brought low, he will be against thee. What are we seeing now? That's what I was like, yo, I'm not European, man. You guys came from Europe. I don't, you know what I mean? At first, you didn't have shit. You were desolate. And we're going to touch on one little thing now, and I want to show you some shit later. You were in a desolate state. You had no one to fucking feed you. Hey, exactly, man. They will always choose their people, and we shouldn't feel bad for choosing our gente. Oh, that's a statement. Let me do it again. Hold on. Speaking of that, let me share this video with you too, because I thought it was really funny. You know, I've been pushing this channel since 2022, early 2022, right? And a lot of the stuff that I was saying in the past, people would take it as if it was just a very derogatory way, a term, or you know, I don't know, fucking racist, I guess. But what I was trying to do was just show you guys that, you know, these are the things that I experienced growing up. And certain nationalities, you know, have a certain way of being. And I just found this video to be so funny, because it literally, like, man, I kept laughing. I even showed my wife this video. I had to do it. I had to.
I mean, look, we discussed.
So hold on. I want to show this to y'all. This is amazing. So he's I guess a left winger, right? On the Democratic side. Red pill weirdos are doing great. He brings up a very good video today, and I think you're gonna like it, okay? Because scripturally speaking, and I'll tell you this right now, family, you brothers and sisters, oh yeah, mostly brothers, and you know, that sister that I talk to, you know my family. And my daughter, right now, she's like the older one, you know, 22 years old. She's a virgin. She doesn't hold around. Like, she's respectful. She loves her family. She's going to school. She's doing her things, right? And yet I hear this. Check it out.
Sneeko did a video, what was it, a month or so ago, where he talked about the red pill and how the red pill is over, and how, you know, everybody who's in the red pill was a snake who stabbed him in the back, and all the liberals were actually nice to him, and so he hates the red pill movement now. You know, Fresh and Fit had their moment. Now they're, I don't even know if they do the show anymore. Do they? I know Myron's doing his own thing, but does the other guy do a show with him still? I don't even know. But anyway, you know, there was this moment of the Andrew Tate stuff and the manosphere, red pill type stuff. And it's gone. It's over. It's a wrap. MAGA's imploded. Trump's at a 35% approval rating. He's totally destroying the country. I think the young men who are into that sort of stuff have now matured to the point where they're like, wait a second, what? Why am I spending all day hating on women and calling them hoes? Like, how is this getting me anywhere in my life, right? Well, you're about to watch right here. I don't even know these people's names. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't know their names. I don't care about them, right? But they're this compound censored. Is that Gavin McInnes' thing? I'm not sure. But look, this is a red pill adjacent show here, or, you know, Groyper adjacent show. Probably both of those.
Well, in case you guys don't know, Groyper is, you know, that red Nick Fuentes, you know, racist sideshow. But it's amazing what they're saying. Okay? So let me skip all this stuff, because he does talk a lot in this section. Well, I mean, this is channel. Here it is.
People, Jesus Christ. All right, let's keep going.
To that fact, we need to become racist, and we need to take charge.
And by the way, don't buy into this propaganda that...
And I think I might have forwarded too much. Okay, so he lets him say some shit right here. Hold on. There it goes. Right there, I guess. Here it goes.
All the young white guys need to team up, because
now, here we go.
White man, you are truly alone. All the young white guys need to team up, because it is us against the world. Everyone hates us. You guys need to wake up to that fact. We need to become racist, and we need to take charge.
What? God, oh my God. This made me miss the days of the old school dog whistles, right? Bill O'Reilly, are you out there? Bill O'Reilly, I know you're 178 years old, but Bill O'Reilly, please get back on Fox News and show these kids how to dog whistle. I mean, they've replaced the dog whistle with a fucking fog.
Oh, what? Fact, we need to become
problems. It's not trans people. It's not immigrants. It's not black people. Jesus Christ. All right, let's keep going.
To that fact, we need to become racist, and we need to take charge.
And by the way, don't buy into this propaganda that, oh, white girls are just whores. Let's go to fucking Colombia and get a cheap hooker.
Yeah.
This passport bro bullshit, that's Jewish as fuck. That's a Jewish psyop to make you have mongrel babies.
That's a Jewish psyop to make you have mongrel babies. Parody. It's parody.
Non-white. If I was non-white and I wasn't in this battle like I am, if I was a black dude, I would be a passport bro.
Yeah.
For non-whites, I get it. Because you can go to a third world country and get a much hotter girl. You just can't. As an American with like more money, you can pull something way better in a third world country. But she's gonna be brown. But if you're a black dude or if you're a brown dude, that's fine. Yeah, no, if I was non-white, I think I would be a passport bro. But if you're white, we're gonna have to wife up these hoes. You're gonna have to suck it up and wife up one of these American white girls. And but it'll be
Your
okay.
race matters that much.
Did you hear what he said? They're gonna have to wife up these white hoes. You see, basically, the sons and daughters of Esau are finally coming to the conclusion of what us so-called, Hispanics or Mexica, right? We're not so-called that, but what we've always learned, what we always knew. We knew that the so-called white man and the so-called white woman, okay, you guys are very open, fluid with sexuality. Meaning, like, let's say, I don't know, I'm dating a white girl and all of a sudden she ends up dating my other friend back in high school named Leo. And then she dates Benny, then she dates Adrian, then she dates Martin, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, and then all of a sudden, she marries Joel, and we're all friends still, and that's totally fine. See, us so-called raza, we knew that. Like, we've always known that shit. That was not even weird to us. Right? They share this. Like, that is weird to us. Like, for real. You guys called it jealousy, whatever it may be. I don't know. I just didn't feel comfortable for my friend to date my ex-girlfriend. Like, it just wasn't acceptable in the hood, homie. Like, I don't understand how the hell even the hood understood that shit. You're telling me so-called college-educated people didn't understand that? No. Now, I'm going to say this to you right now, and I know it's going to sound horrible, but in this country, white and black women at a young age were very fucking promiscuous. Coming from raza, we were not used to that shit. That's on the real. We were not used to that. When I came to this country in the 80s, that's what was very common. Promiscuousness, like being a virgin was bad and shit. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, seriously, man, people were doing trains on girls in the 9th fucking grade already. And it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, the predominantly eran güeras y morenas, güey. Like, that was the truth, bro. So this is not just on the white side. It's just apparent, very weird to me that now they're admitting it. They're saying, hey, listen, we need to promote whiteness. So I'm sorry, we have hoes. Like, all white women are hoes. That's what he's saying. But you need to marry them because, like, you need to preserve the whiteness. I'm telling you, I'm not saying this. This is what they're saying. Watch.
You're going to have to suck it up and wife up one of these white girls. That is the gayest thing I've ever heard in my life. Your mustache is the gayest thing I've ever seen in my life. Who are you, Wyatt Earp? You're like Wyatt Earp, but you want to wear assless chaps and be in the band that sings YMCA, right? Like, what is this?
These American white girls, and but it'll be
your
okay.
race matters that much. Like, your race, in 10 generations, your line will have continued, and it won't. Nobody will care that your great great grandmother was a hoe because you exist and you're more white people.
That she said, look, listen, the white race is what matters. Nobody cares that your grandma was a hoe. Okay, just like, don't worry about it. That's the past. It doesn't matter. It's almost like if they come to the conclusion that, and like kind of like the videos I did way back, I don't know, 2 years ago, maybe, I was kind of touching on that a lot regarding body count. Like, body count. Like, for example, to me, this blew my freaking mind. Now, I'm not saying that our women aren't like this. No, I'm saying that most of our women are not like this. Okay? Most of our women are not like this. I'm not saying that all of them are not like this. Fuck no. We got hoes in our shit too. Watch this. This is crazy.
In January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November,
What's your body count? Are you gonna post this on TikTok?
No, probably not.
74.
74? What's your body count?
8.5. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of What's Your Body Count. And if you are new to my channel and enjoy my content, a sub would be really appreciated.
What is you guys' body count?
11.
11, okay. So 33, yeah.
4.
4, so quick math, 12.
Why are you multiplying it by 3?
Yeah.
When a girl tells you how many guys she's with, multiply it by 3, and that's the real number.
Can I make it 34 in 12? I can?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, guys, most women lie about their body counts, so you just multiply the number by 3 and that's the real number. Here.
What is you guys' body counts?
9, 10, 3.
Whoa!
Dixon!
How much is it?
It's like 11, 12.
11, 12?
Yeah, she's lying.
They must be best friends if they snitch on each other like that.
Next question.
What's your body count?
It's 3.
Oh, it is? That's dope, that's
No,
dope.
2. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's 2?
2.
Okay, bet that.
Done 1,000 yet.
By the way, guys, she's on a podcast that is seen by millions of people.
What? How 1,000? That's amazing. How long have you been doing this?
1,000.
White race must be preserved at all causes. And by the way,
The white race must be preserved at all causes. The white race must be preserved at all causes, not costs. Causes. This is like when they show the picture of like, there were some like people at a protesting a Confederate monument from being taken down. So they like supported the Confederate monument staying up, and they were wearing like Confederate regalia and stuff. They had the flag, and guys missing like a bunch of teeth. They got a mullet. Looks like he's, you know, one super underweight, one super overweight. They look like they do drugs and shit. And like, it's like that. And it says master race with a question mark. That's what that just reminded me of. That's
Just straight up, though. But hold on. It gets even better. Hold on. Here it goes right here. Here's the banger part.
hoes when they don't have a guy putting them in line. So if like most girls will take on the mindset of the guy that they're dating. So if you're conservative, I'm not saying go out and get some radical, insane liberal, like that's beyond the pale, but most girls will kind of meld into who you are. And if you just put them in their place, it'll be fine. And you got to do it for the race.
Yeah, that's exactly the lesson young men need. You got to put this bitch in line. Got to put her in line. Like, first of all, bro, you don't even...
Hold on. You know, he's going about his opinion, but I don't, you know, that's not relevant here, but let's go.
Not like, I'm going to put her in line. Like, what is that? What are you, a fucking 1980s pimp? Like, bitch stepped out of line, I had to give her the hand. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, and again, and circling back, this is why I disagree with these pastors telling all these young men to wait till they're married, because none of the girls are virgins. Being a virgin man marrying a non-virgin woman is a terrible idea. You have no idea what you're getting. She's going to be able to just totally control you. You have no idea what you're getting into. So I do not, in America in 2025, I do not recommend waiting till marriage. As a man, if you're a woman, try and stay pure. But as a man, you know, none of the girls in this country are virgins. You're not going to find a virgin wife. So if she's going to be ran through, you need to be ran through as well. Ran through. Men aren't run through. Men do the running through.
He said, man, you white dudes need to get ran through. Well, you just got to go to jail and you'll get ran through. It's so silly to me. Watch, he even admits it. He says, listen, all you white women are hoes. We get it as white men, but we just have to marry you because the white race has to continue. Watch, I'm not saying it. This is what he fucking said.
But yeah, go rack up a body count and then get yourself one of these ran through white women.
Gotcha, bitch.
That's gonna hurt. Yo,
sorry, we have no choice.
Listen to this again. This is funny.
Be able to just totally control you. You have no idea what you're getting into. So I do not, in America in 2025, I do not recommend waiting till marriage. As a man, if you're a woman, try and stay pure. But as a man, you know, none of the girls in this country are virgins. You're not going to find a virgin wife. So if she's going to be ran through, you need to be ran through as well. Ran through. Men aren't run through. Men do the running through. But yeah, go rack up a body count and then get yourself one of these ran through white women. I'm sorry, we have no choice. This is the situation.
What a sad movement to be a part of. Can you imagine watching this and feeling like fired up? It's impossible. You can't watch it. Oh yeah, I'm down for the struggle. Let's do it. Like everything is so fucking try hard. I'm miserable. Everything sucks. I guess I gotta get in a relationship with this white woman. Like, what the fuck? A movement's supposed to be built on joy. Here.
So there he goes into his, you know, his speech. But let me hear this again. This is so freaking amazing. Like, family, never forget what they're saying right now. What's up, bro? Good to have you here, man. Good to have you. Oh, hold on a second. My bad. Yo, I'll do it again. Good to have you here, bro. What up? What up? AWBR. I just think this is so funny because we're talking about this right here, right? You know, and it's like they're self-destroying themselves with their concepts and shit.
Like, what is that? What are you, a fucking 1980s pimp? Like, bitch stepped out of line, I had to give her the hand. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, and again, and circling back, this is why I disagree with these pastors telling all these young men to wait till they're married, because none of the girls are virgins. Being a virgin man marrying a non-virgin woman is a terrible idea. You have no idea what you're getting. She's going to be able to just totally control you. You have no idea what you're getting into. So I do not, in America in 2025, I do not recommend waiting till marriage. As a man, if you're a woman, try and stay pure. But as a man, none of the girls in this country are virgins. You're not going to find a virgin wife. So if she's going to be ran through, you need to be ran through as well. Ran through. Men aren't run through. Men do the running through. But go rack up a body count and then get yourself one of these ran through white women. I'm sorry, we have no choice. This is the situation.
What a...
I'm sorry, you got no choice. This is the situation. After she has like about 100 sausages in between her legs, don't worry about it. As long as she's white, it is right. And like the girl on the left said, when she's a grandma, it don't matter that she was a hoe because no one is gonna know. Like, wow. Where are we these days now, fam? Like, seriously, this is why I thought it was so important to show you this video, because like I even use a funny word that I don't ever use. I was like, man, I'm flabbergastic, you know? I told you guys, man, that I deal with my gente all the time. Ever since I was young, man, and spiritually speaking, I missed, where I was from. But I had to come with my parents. I had no choice. I did at one point when I was 17, but my parents still had control over me. I couldn't stay there. I wanted to stay there before I turned 18. But I couldn't. It was just the way it was written. Most High planned it that way. So when I see these scriptures, man, it's hard to find good friends. And since I was born over there and I was going over there often, they still knew me. And the last time I went was around 17, like officially for a while, right? For like a month and a half. And I remember my friends, they saw that I was like smoking some bud, and they're like, hey, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing? Like, I was like, nah, it's all good, man. We smoke over here in the US. And they just looked at me kind of weird. The next day, and I think they were just smoking. I think they had maybe one beer. It's a long time. I was like 17, right? The next day, they're like, hey, they used to call me Chicharo. They're like, hey, Chicharo, I don't suggest you do that. Because even though I don't do that, it looks bad on you. Because people see, they're going to assume that's what, like, que eres uno de los tronados, así decías. Que porque estás tronado, meaning your mind is not right. And you want to know something? I never did that again. So I was like, listen, you have friendships that look out for you. But why? That's what you see the difference. You think everybody was like that? Of course not. I have so-called friends here that I talk with my friends. They fucking backstab me. Seriously. That's what it says. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee and will hide himself from thy face. So now that our gente is like, hey, listen, we let you stay in this land. We need some work because you're eating our resources. It don't matter. You're a murderer, a rapist, because you're an illegal, because you're an indigenous person. People that look like you, according to Stephen Miller, self-proclaimed Jew. He says that people that look like us, we automatically, without assumption, they're murderers and rapists and gang members, because that's what they say. 21 million illegals. Then they go terrorists, invasion, gangbangers, rapists, murderers. So all of them 21s are out there raping and murdering and shit. Damn, bro. Like, I should be seeing tons of people die every day. That's what the scriptures say. Separate thyself from thine enemy and take heed of thy friends. You see that? Separate thyself from thy enemy and take heed of thy friends, which is why the sister was saying, hey, don't feel bad to be choosing your people. Take heed of thy friends. That's why I told you, brothers, call each other more often. Because a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure. So likewise, it takes a while to gain a friend, and it takes a long time to find a good one. But not just this, family. This is also dealing with us, people around you, your neighbors, associates, work. Don't give people credit right away. Oh, this guy's cool. Nah, man, stop doing that shit. Well, the sister's like, oh, I like her. You don't even know her. It's only been like a week or two, a month. People take time, man. They'll turn on you 2-3 years later. Guaranteed. That doesn't mean to like literally give everybody a cold shoulder. No, just be mindful of how you walk. Don't give your spirit away. Don't give pearls to swines, basically, or your knowledge to people with lacking understanding. Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he had found such an one had found treasure. Why? Such defense, because guess what? If they're keeping the covenants, that means they're going to watch out for you. Hey, are you all right, bro? Because I don't see you doing well. Or like, yo, no, don't do that. In case you want to try to do something. Let's get a clear understanding of these people now. Now that I've suggested what this covenant means, now that you see exactly what we're dealing with, now let's get into the actual scriptures to understand history to prove who these people are. Because we can just talk. Now we're just not, and they don't mean nothing. That's right. Prove a friend. Prove a friend first. Sirach 36:26. This is what I notice about these particular types of people, because obviously, to me, I don't just assume. I want to make sure. I didn't go out and say, Canaanite, it's just this person because they hurt my feelings or stole from me, or, you know, my sister married one. You know what I'm saying? It's not what about. That's not what it's about. And I never had a problem with any nation at all. I tell you, my ex-brother who I got along with, he's, you know, the last name Reich. You know what I mean? How much more can I admit it? You know what I'm saying? I don't have that evil spirit. I don't have that spirit to hate people. It just pains me to see the wickedness of other people. Like, they're really not, like, really, man, you're that empty? You're that hateful? Sirach 36:23. Who will trust a thief well appointed that skippeth from city to city? Now, we know the history of certain people, and we're going to look into it, who has been traveling from city to city. They came from Europe, all of a sudden, now they're here. The Khazars, you know, all of them. Edomites, every single one of them. So who will believe a man that had no house, and lodgeth wheresoever the night taketh him? Exactly what was Esau. Remember, guys, what was Esau? What is it, 37, I believe? Or 25? Which one is it? He was a hunter. Hold on, let's see. Where does it say? Which was the one that says he was? Oh, there it goes, right here. Genesis 25:27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man. What did we just read earlier? A cunning hunter, a man of the field, who lost his birthright, who will be a wandering individual, right? Who will just take and take and take, and I consider, because he's never had much. That's the same way the spirit works. Take, because it's empty. Sirach 36:26. Who will trust a thief well appointed that skippeth from city to city? Who will believe a man that has no house, and lodgeth whosoever the night taketh him? Because we know that these strangers who came from far, from the end of the earth, changed the tune. Right? I'll give you an example. Because a lot of times, people just, I don't know, man. I guess they forget. Maybe they think that others don't know. Let's explore this real quick. This is the burial of the dead of 1609 through 1610. Let me bring attention to facts. These are not feelings. These are facts. And this is why the sister said earlier, there's nothing wrong with choosing your own. Because when certain people came here, our gente, the brothers up in this eastern part of our lands, dealt with you, and this is what happens, or what happened. So let's remind you Mr. So-called sophisticated. I'm so qualified porque tengo un high IQ, you know. I'm a gringo. I'm so better than you because technically, you know, so-called evolution. Darwinism. Okay. It says here, the starving times refers to the winter of 1609 and 1610, when about 3/4 of the English colonists in Virginia died of starvation or starvation-related diseases. In his unpublished account of El Tres Religion, I guess George Pierce, who served as a president during this grim month, wrote that Englishmen felt the sharp prick of hunger, which no man truly described, but he which had tasted the bitterness thereof. Already for 2 years in Jamestown, colonists had died at an alarming rate, mostly of summertime disease. Okay? In 1609, the beginning of the First Anglo-Powhatan War, Follow family, prompt our gente to lay siege to the English fort, helping to provoke the famine. Now, remember, when we read this, you know damn well that the WASP is going to say, oh, these savages. Really? If they were savages, they would have just savaged you right there at the beginning. But apparently, they're like, no, you let you settle. And I can already tell snakes and vipers, like it says, you can't have enough. Then it continues. The settlers were forced to eat snakes, vipers, rats, mice, musk turtles, cats, dogs, horses, and perhaps even raptors. In addition, because you know what, people starve, I get it. Hey, you know, you gotta survive, shit, right? That's what Edom will say. In addition, though, multiple gruesome stories suggested that archaeological evidence has partially corroborated that the settlers devoured each other.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Let me read that again. Anglo, WASP, supposedly, you know what I'm saying? WASP, I'm talking to you. It says here that the Anglo, right, devoured each other out of starvation. The siege lifted in May 1610, and when the survivors of Sea Venture wreck arrived in Virginia, they found just 60 gaunt remnant of the 240 people who had crowded the fort the previous November. Many observers argued that the colonists' idleness, their persistent refusal to work for their food, you see this? Their persistent refusal, not like, oh, there's no work. Plain and simple refusal to work. So it's like we go to another land, family, okay? We're just dropped off there. But, okay, let's say 100 of us are thrown in the land, right? But in this land, it's like an island, and it looks like, hey, there's trees, there's animals. Like, well, fuck, let's get to work, man. Let's start building a home and getting ready. Because, you know, what do you think? You think we're going to survive just by laying around? Like, what are we talking about? Did they have TVs and shit? Did they have Netflix at that time? Were they entertained with cell phones? Were they overweight, obese because, like, food was, like, you know what I'm saying, manufactured? No, there was absolutely nothing to do with that. It is the spirit that lacks, which is why you cannot understand these things. Now, why do they hide this information? All of a sudden, they tell you illegal, that you ain't shit, you're a savage, you're not smart, you're intellectually lower level. Yet, when they got here, if they were so civilized, why the hell did this occur? They always talk about immigrants, supposedly, or gente, our gente, right? You Hebrews, that we're lazy, that we refuse to work. Many observers argue that the colonists' idleness, their persistent refusal to work for their food, contributed to the famine. So because they were so lazy, they ate each other. Wow. It is likely, though, that malnutrition and despair work together to create symptoms that imitize laziness. Indeed, Virginia survived, but just barely. So why is this not written so eloquently? Why are we compared to savagery when we had a farming system? A matter of fact, an agricultural way where we would move the farming to let land rest every 6 years. And that's documentational. That's exactly why I'm going to show this video to you. Because when
that doesn't mean we should.
You see the silliness. So let's break this down. We're going to listen to this man here. Okay? Because that's what I think he is. I mean, that's my opinion, you know? That's what I think. But anyways, we're going to listen to this individual and just kind of like pay attention to her foolishness, which basically you could say stupid pride, right? Let's break down what she says, and then based on what we know, we'll see why. All right, let's go.
Shouldn't have soup. Hitler loved dogs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't love dogs. So I think we have to move past this. If Hitler did it, it must be bad. But I do notice when I was listening to your monologue, I don't think I do use the word nationalism. I would use a word you used in your monologue, which I liked quite a bit, and that's citizenship. There's citizenism. How about Americanism?
Yeah.
I'd also point out that the only people who are not allowed
to advancing pro-nationalist ends. And so, Anne, thanks for coming on. And
sorry, I don't want to
conversation.
Let's go.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed.
The word is condescending. That's what Edom does. They lack spiritual understanding, so the only way to feel superior is by lusting over what that feels like, being condescending. The pleasure of superiority, that's a fleshly lust right there. You're empty. But let's continue.
With many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president, but I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back.
She said I wouldn't have voted for you because you're a Hindu. You have like multiple gods and they don't believe that shit. And he keeps a straight face. But I know I'm brown. I know I'm brown. But I know I'm brown. But I want to be white, even though his parents still are not even like so-called U.S. citizens. This just baffles me, man. It baffles me how these nations just conduct themselves. Let's continue.
Back to that. And it's directly related to what you were just talking about. The thing about nationalism, you're totally right. It is like to use the word nationalism. Oh, it's Hitler. And, Hitler had soup. That doesn't mean we shouldn't have soup. Hitler loved dogs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't love dogs. So I think we have to move past this. If Hitler did it, it must be bad. But I do notice when I was listening to your monologue, I don't think I do use the word nationalism. I would use a word you used in your monologue, which I liked quite a bit, and that's citizenship. There's citizenism. How about Americanism?
Yeah.
I'd also point out that the only people who are not allowed to be proud of their ethnic group do tend to be Anglo-Saxons. Oh boy, you can't be proud of being white.
Apparently, she says you guys can't be proud of being white. And then she's going to use this example, which is pretty stupid, but let's go.
Whereas, watch a soccer game and see, it's Venezuela, we're Mexicans. It's funny, Hispanics.
Okay, so soccer players worldwide, right? That's like the World Cup, which is going to be played here next year, apparently, supposedly, right? Germany, very proud soccer team. Italy, very proud soccer team. Dutch, very proud as well. French, very proud. British, very proud. Literally, like those are great European teams. They're very proud. We understand that. What the fuck are you talking about? What exactly are you saying? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me remind you. We're talking about the exclusive little wasp that's over here in this land that literally they're a very small portion compared to us. Literally. Let's continue.
don't even think of themselves as Hispanics. They think of themselves as the country they're from.
Now she's going to say what we think. See what I mean? First error, assumption is never a good quality. Second error, you shouldn't bleach your hair if that's not your real color. That's just, me. Let's go.
I think French. Feel very proud to be French. We saw Macron expressly objecting wokeness on the grounds that this is an American institution. We're not going to import this. So you do see basically every other ethnic group very proud of their ethnic group. And the thing I'd say about America, okay, no single cuisine, but you can get Chinese food and Mexican food in Paris and
speed this up, okay?
Tokyo. National identity that is the identity of the WASP. And that doesn't mean
go. That's it. Listen to
Tokyo. Food has definitely migrated across countries. There is a core national identity that is the identity of the WASP. And that doesn't.
The identity of the WASP. For you guys that don't know what that means, let's look it up. Let's educate each other. The WASP. Hold on a second. Hold on, bro. Come on. WASP. Oh, que la fregada. WASP. Whoa. My God, bro. WASP. Oh, shit. WASP meaning. It means, not that kind, North American Anglo-Saxon. So basically, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. You see that? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Yeah, bro. I know what you mean. So now that we got an understanding, let's continue.
Doesn't mean we can't take anyone else in, a Sri Lankan or a Japanese or an Indian, but the core around which the nation's values are formed is the WASP. We've never had a president who didn't have at least partial English ancestry.
So you see, apparently she thinks that America, right, North, was born out of the WASP. Now, I find it interesting that in 1700, and I believe he had written this. Let me see if I have it. He had written this. I saw it and I was like, what do I need that for? I didn't even consider. No, it should be here. It's not too far. Give me a second. It should be close. Because I did recently post it on my memory channel. I gotta go back. Come on. Hold on. Maybe I have it. Maybe I don't. Oh, that's gonna suck, bro. Oh, man. It's, I believe, Benjamin Franklin. It's a very short part of his last book he wrote. It's like 25 pages, I believe. And in that section, in the end, he's explaining that the British are the only pale skin, like vampires, right? But the only pale skin currently alive. That everybody else had a non-pale skin. So I don't really understand what she means by the WASP. They're really behind on their history because when we look at history, right? Like really looking at history, in 1865, we know that there was not just white folks fighting for slavery to be continued. Nah. And we know that it wasn't just a majority of white folks that took Texas. No. Nor was it the majority that took Florida, because Florida basically, in a way, migrated. You guys didn't take shit. So this concept of WASP self-creation, like as if they kind of like showed up and they were already like, I guess, angelic and shit, you know what I mean? Like they're like flying angels, and we were just like at galore, like, oh my God, pale-skinned people, they're here to make us better. I mean, we just read what ended up happening when you guys showed up. You literally were cannibals, eating each other. And when you look at history and the way that the states have progressed, it's not what these people say. A lot of it is a lie to them. But again, you know, if it's the narrative. If you're searching for lust, you're always going to find it.
ancestry. Never. We've only had one Catholic president. There was only one Catholic signatory to the Declaration of Independence. They were all not only Protestants, but pretty much Presbyterian. King George referred to the American Revolution as that Presbyterian War. So there is a lot in the freedom thing. Samuel Huntington of Harvard has written about this in a fantastic book I recommend to everyone, Who Are We? And he describes how, back in colonial times, interestingly enough, for example, Jews could vote, but Catholics couldn't because people...
You see what I mean? This is why we need to go back to history that she knows of, right? Well, hold on a second. Back in colonial times, let's clear this up. Pale-skinned brother with long hair. Let's clear this up, young man. You said the WASP created it. But then all of a sudden you said that there was a time where Jews could vote and Catholics could not. In colonial times. Well, the colonial times were the 13 colonies, dumbass. So you see what I'm saying, family? So when people throw these words out and you know history, now you're like, wait a minute, we know that Jews and Moors of British colonial America. Remember that book? Jews and Moors of British colonial America. You would understand and know what she's talking about. I've shared this book with you many, many times. And it's a very interesting book. Matter of fact, one of these days, I'm going to actually bring some info out of this book that's, y'all going to be like, oh, hey, I'll take full force of it. Because I'm telling you, man, it's very interesting. But Jews and Muslims, or Moors in British colonial America. Remember the other book, Jews and Moors of Spain? Well, it just changed to Jews and Muslims of British colonial America. These were swarthy-looking people, family. Well, they weren't white. And she says that Jews and could vote, so could Muslims, I guess. They could buy people. Matter of fact, remember I showed you another class where they were allowed to buy themselves. And they said only Jews, Muslims, natives, Africans are not allowed to purchase Christians, meaning the WASP. You see what I'm saying now? Do you understand what I mean? So when you read old books, Christians are the WASP. And they weren't ruling shit initially. You see, this is why there's this battle between them, Khazars, and, the so-called Boulets, which we understand to be Hamites. When you really pay attention to the words that people are saying, now you can see why. Oh, okay, so Jews were allowed to vote, but Catholics were not? In colonial times. But you're saying that, colonial times, the WASP created it, technically. So what was going on back then? The secrets are revealed to us, fam. The step is to repent. Let's go.
People thought they would be more loyal to Rome once they became more American Catholic and less.
So they weren't allowed to vote because they were Catholics more loyal to Rome. What do you mean, Rome? What are you talking about? What are you saying? I thought they were British. I thought that you guys were the WASP. So if they're Catholics, what kind of people are they? Well, are they like, which kind of Catholics? Dutch, Germans? Which ones? What makes you the difference? Because now you're saying you're not Germans, you're not French, you're not, what do you mean? You're not Dutch, you're just British? So you guys are like, so who are you then? Japhites, Hamites, Semitic? You know what I mean, fam? Let's be real about this stuff, man, because now we're being silly with this talk. And when you let these people that claim to be smart, fuck you, y si no estás estudiado o preparado por decir, ten paciencia, güey, todo va a venir a su tiempo, el conocimiento, and you're going to be able to clearly listen to the shit that people say, because you'll be like in the center of the world, like watching words all the time, and every time they talk shit, you're like, oh, I know that, boom. It reminded me of this. Let's continue.
Less Roman Catholic, then they were just, part of us and part of Americans. But you do notice, and he describes why so many countries that have not done very well are dominated by Catholicism. It's much more from the top down. It lends itself to an authoritarian governance, whereas Calvinists, it's between you and God, and moreover, because of the Presbyterian, I think every ethnic group has this, the WASP work ethic and the Jewish work ethic, and I'm sure there is an Indian work ethic, but specifically with Presbyterians or Protestants, let me put it that way, and the Calvinism, even though it might not be theologically true, but the idea that you are part of the chosen and you prove that by being successful.
See that right there, family? Don't let these Edomite snakes get away with shit. She said a lot, but she really didn't say shit. Only stupid people would really fall for that man that acts like a woman with bleached hair. That's my opinion. So she said a bunch of crap that really didn't belong. But she did say that, most Catholics, right, are from top down. She said that in two ways. So most Catholics are, let's say, our gente, right? Most Catholics are Hispanics, people of color. That's what she's saying, okay? And because Catholics like to keep people down, right? Most of these people think like a certain way. Check it out.
It's almost the reverse in Catholic countries, not so much this country because American Catholics have basically become Protestants. And that is this worship of being poor, as if you are closer to God because you're poor. That's not the way to create a on-the-go developing country.
Mm-hmm. No.
You see this stupid dumbass right here, bro? Seriously, man.
Bruh.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
I have concepts of a plan.
And then she makes his face like, I just insulted. Okay, so let's get some history here. I shared with you earlier. I shared with you guys earlier. Okay? An important book, important material regarding the Lutheran newsletter. Okay? And in this Lutheran newsletter, it actually explains to us what occurred. I've read it to you guys before. It's where I had mentioned earlier. Okay? Remember, because I have the book. This is from September 7, 1900. So, this is one of them. So she's fucking stupid. Literally. You're a fucking dumbass. You you make this face like you understand what's going on. Well, if you understood what was going on in these Catholic countries, then you would see the development of people, right? You guys have generational ahead of time, for example, because since you were Protestants back then, your race wasn't being told not to fucking read the Bible, not to understand the Bible, never to look at it, not once. When did that happen to you guys here? Never. So when you take away the ability for anybody to learn, any of our people to learn any of this, in case you guys missed it, I'll read it. This is from Lutheran Witness, September 7th, from an actual book I have, but it's from an article from back in the days. It says, Dr. Francis S. Borden relates the following about the first Bible printed in Mexico in the Christian Advocate. The printing press came to Mexico in 1539. For in that year, there was printed in Mexico, in Spanish, a brief compendium of the Christian doctrine. Now, what does that mean? What do you think that means? The Christian compendium. Do you know what that means? That means this right here. When you get the actual the Mexican pyramids, I'm sorry, the Mexican pyramids. How's it called? Oh, hold on a second. I think I have it in English. What's it meant? Beat on me, the pyramids. All right. This one's in Spanish. Let me see if I can get it in English. I'll read it in Spanish. You guys know Spanish, so it doesn't matter. It says here on page 16 of the Los Misterios de las Pirámides Mexicanas. So basically, the mysteries of the Mexican pyramids. I think I can get it in English now, because that's what I miss. Los Misterios, güey. Los Misterios. Just in case you guys miss mysteries. Hold on. Mysteries. There it goes right here. Here's in English. Mysteries of the Mexican pyramids, okay? On page 16, this is what it says. Remember what this dude was talking about. Let me close this page. That in 1539, for in that year, there was printed in Mexico, in Spanish, a brief compendium of the Christian doctrine. What is that? What is that, WASP? Let me give you some history. Why that did occur to our people. Because, yes, that's right. Catholicism did cause our people to think that way. That it was good to keep you poor. That it was better to have a relationship with with God, as long as, you were meek. You had to be meek. Meaning you had to basically, submit, dumbass, which is what you guys have done. Now you want to act like as in Christianity has nothing to do with Christians. You guys celebrate the same fucking tree every December 25th. Again, let me remind you, brief compendium of Christian doctrine. What is that? What exactly is that? That's what this is. Page 16. As lands were stolen from natives, great famines ensued, yet heavy taxes were laid on Indians. Those who failed to pay were tortured to death. The Indians who refused to join the Catholic Church, right? Wasn't that what she was fucking saying? Were horsewhipped, had their heads shaved, and were forbidden to hold office or title in their villages. Remember, that happened to us, not to another nation, not to that Hamitic nation. And an Indian could have received 100 lashes. Now, listen to this. For those wobbles, by the way, in case you're watching, if you guys really were the people that were here originally, how come you don't know none of this shit? If we were Spaniards, because if we were Spaniards and we did this to you guys, why would we then say, oh, no, you know what? I'm going to steal all of that from you. So I'm going to be like you. What? That's stupid. According to the Spaniards, Indians were supposed to know only the Our Father, Ave Maria, Credo, and 10 Commandments. Reading and writing were considered as dangerous as the devil. So once again, in September 7th, 1900, from her horse's mouth, Lutherans, because that's what they are, Protestants, okay? Let's not forget here. Let's not be stupid, man. Come on, Edom. Are you that dumb? Seriously? You can't come with something more meaningful and make like really, let's destroy this nonsense. This is why, family, don't let people feel superior than you. You are an amazing individual, spiritually speaking. But our spirit moves different. We're not interested in these things. Let's continue. And you know what I'm saying in regards to learning history to show hate. That's not the way it works. So this brief compendium, which, by the way, under the auspice of the famous Bishop Fray Juan Zumarraga, who also gave us the fake fucking Virgin Mary, the Queen of Heaven, he made her up. He started the whole story. He was worshiping her since the 1200s. The fucking thing never showed up here. That was just 81 years before the Mayflower brought the first pilgrims to Plymouth Bay. Listen to this, fam. And listen to this, WASP. Since you feel so superior, between these years, when you showed up in 1500, you were eating yourselves, okay? We were not doing that. We were being told that we cannot know who the word of God was. Let's start with that first. From 1539 to 1810, when the immortal Hidalgo raised the cry of Mexican independence, which after that, by the way, in 1812, you notice that who started going to war with us? Yes, the WASP, of course. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. When the immortal Hidalgo raised the cry of Mexican independence, or during the 270 years of Spanish rule and misrule in Mexico, Spain not only did not give Mexico a Bible, but sternly prohibited the publication of any part of the sacred scriptures in the language of the Mexican people. The prohibition is still in force with regards to the printing of the Bible, okay? And anyone, listen, so it still was not able to print. It was illegal. 52 languages and dialects spoken in Mexico today. So if you didn't speak this like Spanish, like their Castellano, ay, pues too bad, homie. Tú te arreglas. Because that's really how it was. But when you have the WASP speaking without actually getting checked, then that's when it becomes a problem. Then it says, the first edition of the Bible in Mexico was printed in Latin and Spanish in Mexico City in 1831 through 1833. Remember, they showed up in 1492. Right? It appeared in 21 volumes. That's like 20, like that's a lot of books, man. Remember the old encyclopedias and shit back in the day? I think all of us had one. Most if you're a gente, you know, my bad. Let me switch this. If you were gente, you know better. Like you would know, yeah, we all had that. And it says here, it appeared in 25 volumes, I'm sorry, with an atlas and cost over $200, so that it still remained a prohibited book to the great majority of the people. Keep in mind, in this year, around this time, only about 3 to 5% of our people were illiterate. I'm sorry, only about 3 or 5% of our people were literate. The rest were not. That's why earlier I told you, the battle with Pancho Villa had a lot to do with our education, like completely growing in regards to literacy. It just shot up because they were building more schools. They weren't letting us learn shit. WASP. In case you forgot, WASP. Protestants, Christians, all you guys. Then it says here, a magnificent copy of this edition is before me as I write. So I say that Spain never allowed Mexico the sight of the word of God in all the centuries of her dominion. Of course, the Latin Bible could have been had. Yep, it's true, because that's how they did the masses. For 300 years and for 350 years, the Mexican. Hold on. Hey, Edward. Fine. So, do you want me to praise the WASP, the white Anglo-Protestant Saxons who are, you know what I'm saying, just throwing people in jail and shit because of the way they look? Should I honor that? Is that what you're saying? That's pretty stupid, man. And you said condemn. What do you mean condemn? Who's condemning? What I'm doing is showing the history about how long it's been since we've known who we were. Oh, my doctrine is weird. Let me ask you a question, Edward Barber. Where does it say to celebrate a Christmas Christian tree? Let's see if my doctrine is weird. Give me a scripture. If you can find a scripture that says worship a tree on December 25th, I will stop teaching, showing my channel. I will close it down. Can you do that before you post anything else? Give us a scripture that says I can celebrate Christmas on December 25th. Let's see if my doctrine is weird. I'll let you think of that. Matter of fact, no rush. You know what I'm saying? No rush. Then it says here, for 300 years, 350 years. And listen, family, regardless of what people say, regardless of the emotional people, right? We're reading facts here. All of a sudden, this doesn't matter to them. Oh, why are you being condemning other nations? Wait, hold on a second. Do you not realize that the Bible was not allowed to be printed, or we weren't allowed to read it, nor have it in the time when your great-grandfather was alive. So when your great-grandfather was alive, probably, I don't know if you fought World War I or II, we weren't able to read. We weren't allowed to read. Okay? So I don't know why you think this is not important. I don't understand why what do you say? You telling me you don't follow your history? You don't care what happened to your people? Like it doesn't matter? We hear about all this shit in 1776 every fucking time. 4th of July every year. You guys put 4 faces of your presidents on a mountain. What are you talking about? Now all of a sudden it doesn't matter? This history matters to my people because you know what? For a long time we were worshiping a stupid-ass religion that taught us nothing. Here it clearly says that the Catholic Church prohibited the Bible even at that time. Mexican press has been, listen, for 350 years, the Mexican press has been at work on lives of saints, on catechisms, and on the silliest, most vapid and immoral tales in Spanish. This is why the state of mind to keep us poor in a state of mind as well is exactly what these Edomites preferred. Now, in my class, I go deep. So it ain't just Christmas Christians part of it. We know Freemasonry, which they practice Catholicism and are part of that whole, encrypt shit. We understand that, right? But we're just kind of talking about the surface for Edward to understand. Because if I go deep on this shit, you'll probably get lost. But the Bible is today an unknown book in Mexico. You see this? But the Bible is today an unknown book in Mexico among the majority of the people. Of the people. You see this? Well, the scriptures say that when the Israelites are going through their curses, it's because we didn't follow his instructions. So if we have people that have not allowed us to follow his instructions, we're cursed. Let me remind you, okay? Let me bring you to this understanding because I don't think Christmas Christians really get it. I think this is just a storyline. My wife likes fantasy movies. It's a fantasy book. Let me remind you of something of what the Israelites actually experienced. And this is on Judith 5 from the Apocrypha. And here we see it says Holofernes. Let me read it. Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, the Assyrians, that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passage of the hill country, and had forfeited all the tops of the high hills, and had laid impediments in the campaign countries. wherewith he was very angry, and called all the princes of Moab, and captains of Ammon, and all the governors of the seacoast. And he said unto them, Tell me, ye sons of Canaan, you see what I'm saying? Who these people is, that dwelleth in the hill country, and that are in the cities that they inhabit, yada, 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 right? That's what he's basically saying. So now, this guy says here, okay, I'll tell you about these people, okay? So let's start here. Judith 5:6. These people are descended of the Chaldeans, not Hamitic, not Africa, not China, not Khazar, not Britain, not Spain. No, the Chaldeans in the Middle East, okay? And they sojourned there, herefore, in Mesopotamia. You see, they were Chaldeans before they went to Mesopotamia, because they followed because they would not follow the gods of their fathers. Like I said, Abraham was in idolatry when he was born, and for quite some time, which were in the land of Chaldea, the of the Chaldee, Babylonian. You see what I'm saying? For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven and the God whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their gods, meaning they had to leave from the of the Chaldee, and they fled into Mesopotamia to sojourn there many days. So because they started understanding that our Father was calling us back, it's just like today. We're severing, Edward. We don't need to deal with these nations like that anymore. Christianity has really done a number on our people. This is why even this lady, well, I call her a lady right now, but she said it herself. Listen.
In Catholic countries, not so much this country, because American Catholics have basically become Protestants. And that is this worship of being poor, as if you are closer to God because you're poor. That's not the way to create a, like, on-the-go developing country.
Only a dumbass would say something like that. But the point being is, why? Why were we being treated that way? When they don't give us the Bible, we don't know the instructions, what we need to do. They say, no. The Ave Maria, Padre Nuestro, El Credo. And you want to know something? If you want to know what all those related to, all that related to was after you like confess. All that relates to your confessions. So like a dumbass, you go, oiga, padrecito, pues el otro día estaba pecando. You know what I'm saying? And they keep you in that state of mind. And if you don't know that you're an Israelite, you will always think like that. So these wasps really have a number coming to them. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. And their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourn, leave these people, don't deal with them no more, because now you understand who you are, and go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt and were increased with gold and silver and very much cattle. Check this out. But here's what goes on, okay? But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, and they went into Egypt and sojourned there, while they were nourished and became great multitude, so that one could not number the nation. Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring and break, and made them slaves. Check this out. And they cried unto their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with an incurable plague. So exactly, explain that to me, Edward. Here we see that the Israelites were begging their father, listen, I'm tired of these Edomites, man. Well, in this case, Hamites, Mizraims. But like us right now, we're tired of Edomites. We're just sick of it, man. You guys are the most hypocritical nation in the entire Bible. And you see it in your actions. You claim to be Christians, but you're destroying families by supposedly deporting people that really shouldn't be deported. Like, seriously. And I'm not just talking about like indigenous, like Japanese people, Arabs. Like you're just doing it to just because you hate. You call that Christian, though. So the Egyptians cast them out of their sight, right? So here he explains how, the Most High was with us when we were following. But check this out. Verse 17. And while they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that had hated iniquity was with them. So now, if we are not allowed to read the Bible, Edward, how will we understand iniquity? If we're only told a little bit of the Bible, so then we can only remember that when we go to confession. That's it. That's as far as we know about God. Your confession by 24/7. And you better know these, because when you're bad, money's bad. They taught us that money was bad. The root of all evil was money. That's Christianity. Remember, keep in mind, my grandmother, in her times, she was not allowed to read the Bible. My grandmother, okay, in 1903, because the God that hated iniquity was with them. But when they separated from the way which he appointed them, They were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captive into the lands that was not theirs. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and the cities were taken by enemies. Check this out. But now they are to return to their God, and are come up from their places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the country hill, for it was desolate. That's why Edom is going to be desolate. The point being is, y'all are going to drink the cup that we were drinking. And I know that's emotional for y'all, but what can I explain? What can I tell you? It didn't matter to you when our people were dying of smallpox. It just became history for y'all. That was it.
Question. Are you guys okay with ICE racially profiling?
Oh, so we got a bunch of racists in the audience.
Well, hold on. Are you okay with ICE racially profiling? I think if ICE is confronted with a little Norwegian grandma and a guy named Jose who doesn't speak a lick of English and either trying to pick up illegals, probably go for Jose.
This proves it was always about race, and that they just using the law and immigration politics as a tool to get rid of the undesirables. He didn't bring up legal status when he was talking about the Norwegian grandma and Jose, but it was understood what he was getting at, wasn't it? They ain't got no problem with immigrants, only when non-Europeans come. Remember when that tragedy happened to a Ukrainian woman? Donald Trump himself said that this woman has the right to find safety and freedom, and her being an immigrant didn't even matter. But all the rest of them, I'm gonna already assume you're here illegally and that your presence here is criminal. This was crazy. The grandma was said to be from Norway, but any place that there could be a brown person named Jose is understood they're illegal. They're trying to get rid of the coloreds, and they're going to use mass deportation as a way to justify it. That's why ICE and the National Guard clicked up in the hood right now, to get rid of the coloreds. This video also proves these white folks will be real with each other, but they'll gaslight us. They'll tell us, hey, why you bring up race and everything and we colorblind? At the same time, saying we don't want Jose, we want the Norwegian grandma. They don't think anything should happen to them because of their race, but they believe everybody else should be racially profiled. Hey, a gunman that's a white man can go into a schoolhouse, a movie theater, a church, and do a whole bunch of crazy shit for the past 10 years, and nobody viewed this race as being inherently irrational or violent. But hey, anything else? The individual is now a whole representation of the entire group. They openly laughed at being called racist and said, so what?
You may recall earlier this year when the Trump administration deported hundreds of Venezuelan men to El Salvador, a country most had no
Some shit's going on. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. So I guess YouTube starting to fuck around with me and shit. Hey, look, maybe it was a perfect time to pause it, but the brother said right here, nothing changed. Just the image shaving off the hair is a big kick in the face, right? Okay. So watch this real quick. I showed this earlier, and we can see here with regards to the shaving of the head, right? This is from the Mexican, the Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids, page 16. As land was stolen from the natives, great famine ensued, yet heavy taxes were laid on the Indians. Those who failed to pay were tortured to death. Indians who refused to join the Catholic Church were horsewhipped, had their heads shaved, and were forbidden to hold office or title in the village. So the head shaving is a historical thing. You may Oh shit. Okay, here it goes. Okay, let's count up. Nah, man, the microphone. Okay, so something's weird going on, fam. Let me know when you start like noticing there's some weird shit's happening, because I think YouTube is fucking with me. Anyways, so the point being is, I'm bald now, but when I had hair, man, I really appreciated it. So I think like that matters to us. And when you get shaved by force, that's so demeaning, bro. It's like somebody bleaching your hair by force. You know what I mean? So it's interesting that you made that point. I think it's a great point. Hold on a second here real quick.
None of them have anything to
do. Oh, I see the sound.
With any criminal group.
Play. Hold on.
In sentence for a violent or.
Oh. Hold on, Sam. Okay, hold on.
Also obtain criminal records in Venezuela and in the countries where these people live. And the information we obtained in the United States.
Venezuelans the U.S. sent there. Criminal histories of
What?
I have a question.
Moab and captains of Ammon and all the governors of the seacoast. And he said unto them, tell me, ye sons of Canaan, you see what I'm saying? Who these people is, that dwelleth in the hill country and that are in the cities that they inhabit, yada, 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 right? That's what he's basically saying. So now this guy says here, okay, I'll tell you about these people, okay? So let's start here. Judith 5:6. These people are descended of the Chaldeans, not Hamitic, not Africa, not China, not Khazar, not Britain, not 50. The first edition of the Bible in Mexico was printed in Latin and Spanish in Mexico City in 1831 through 1833. Remember, they showed up in 1492. Right? It appeared in 21 volumes. That's like 20, that's a lot of books, man. Remember the old encyclopedias and shit back in the day? I think all of us had one. Most if you're a gente, my bad. Let me switch this. If you were gente, you know better. Like you would know, yeah, we all had that. And it says here, it appeared in 25 volumes, with an atlas and cost over $200, so that it still remained a prohibited book to the great majority of the people. Keep in mind, in this year, around this time, only about 3 to 5% of our people were illiterate. I'm sorry, only about 3 or 5% of our people were literate. The rest were not. That's why earlier I told you, the battle with Pancho Villa had a lot to do with our education, completely growing in regards to literacy. It just shot up because they were building more schools. They weren't letting us learn shit. WASP. In case you forgot, WASP. Protestants, Christmas Christians, all you guys. Then it says here, a magnificent copy of this edition is before me as I write. So I say that Spain never allowed Mexico the sight of the word of God in all the centuries of her dominion. Of course, the Latin Bible could have been had. Yep, it's true, because that's how they did the masses. For 300 years and for 350 years, the Mexican. Hold on, hey Edward. Fine. So, do you want me to praise the WASP the white Anglo Protestant Saxons who are, you know what I'm saying, just throwing people in jail and shit because of the way they look? Should I honor that? Is that what you're saying? That's pretty stupid, man. And you said condemn. What do you mean condemn? Who's condemning? What I'm doing is showing the history about how long it's been since we've known who we were. Oh, my doctrine is weird. Let me ask you a question, Edward Barber. Where does it say to celebrate a Christmas Christian tree? Let's see if my doctrine is weird. Tell me, give me a scripture. If you can find a scripture that says worship a tree on December 25th, I will stop teaching, showing my channel. I will close it down. Can you do that before you post anything else? Give us a scripture that says I can celebrate Christmas on December 25th. Let's see if my doctrine is weird. I'll let you think of that. Matter of fact, no rush. You know what I'm saying? No rush. Then it says here, for 300 years, 350 years. And listen, family, regardless of what people say, regardless of the emotional people, right? We're reading facts here. All of a sudden, this doesn't matter to them. Oh, why are you being condemning other nations? Wait, hold on a second. Do you not realize that the Bible was not allowed to be printed, or we weren't allowed to read it, nor have it in the time when your great-grandfather was alive. So when your great-grandfather was alive, probably, I don't know if you fought World War I or II, we weren't able to read. We weren't allowed to read. Okay? So I don't know why you think this is not important. I don't understand why what do you say? You telling me you don't follow your history? You don't care what happened to your people? Like it doesn't matter? We hear about all this shit in 1776 every fucking time. 4th of July every year. You guys put 4 faces of your presidents on a mountain. What are you talking about? Now all of a sudden that doesn't matter? This history matters to my people because you know what? For a long time we were worshiping a stupid-ass religion that taught us nothing. Here it clearly says that the Catholic Church prohibited the Bible even at that time. Mexican press has been, listen, for 350 years, the Mexican press has been at work on lives of saints, on catechisms, and on the silliest, most vapid and immoral tales in Spanish. This is why the state of mind to keep us poor in a state of mind as well is exactly what these Edomites prefer. Now, in my class, I go deep. So it ain't just Christmas Christians part of it. We know Freemasonry, which they practice Catholicism and are part of that whole, encrypt shit. We understand that, right? But we're just kind of talking about the surface for Edward to understand. Because if I go deep on this shit, you'll probably get lost. But the Bible is today an unknown book in Mexico. You see this? But the Bible is today an unknown book in Mexico among the majority of the people. Of the people. You see this? Well, the scriptures say that when the Israelites are going through their curses, it's because we didn't follow his instructions. So if we have people that have not allowed us to follow his instructions, we're cursed. Let me remind you, okay? Let me bring you to this understanding because I don't think Christmas Christians really get it. I think this is just a storyline. My wife likes fantasy movies. It's a fantasy book. Let me remind you of something of what the Israelites actually experienced. And this is on Judith 5 from the Apocrypha. And here we see it says Holofernes. Let me read it. Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, the Assyrians, that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passage of the hill country, and had forfeited all the tops of the high hills, and had laid impediments in the campaign countries. Wherewith he was very angry, and called all the princes of Moab, and captains of Ammon, and all the governors of the seacoast. And he said unto them, tell me, ye sons of Canaan, you see what I'm saying? Who these people is, that dwelleth in the hill country, and that are in the cities that they inhabit, yada, 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 right? That's what he's basically saying. So now, this guy says here, okay, I'll tell you about these people, okay? So let's start here. Judith 5:6. These people are descended of the Chaldeans, not Hamitic, not Africa, not China, not Khazar, not Britain, not Spain. No, the Chaldeans in the Middle East, okay? And they sojourned there, herefore in Mesopotamia. You see, they were Chaldeans before they went to Mesopotamia because they followed not the, I'm sorry, because they would not follow the gods of their fathers. Like I said, Abraham was in idolatry when he was born and for quite some time, which were in the land of Chaldea, the Ur of the Chaldee, Babylonian. You see what I'm saying? For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven and the God whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their gods, meaning they had to leave from the Ur of the Chaldee, and they fled into Mesopotamia to sojourn there many days. So because they started understanding that our Father was calling us back, it's just like today. We're severing, Edward. We don't need to deal with these nations like that anymore. Christianity has really done a number on our people. This is why even this lady, well, I call her a lady right now, but she said it herself. Listen.
In Catholic countries, not so much this country, because American Catholics have basically become Protestants. And that is this worship of being poor, as if you are closer to God because you're poor. That's not the way to create a, like, on-the-go developing country.
Only a dumbass would say something like that. But the point being is, why? Why were we being treated that way? When they don't give us the Bible, we don't know the instructions, what we need to do. They say, no. The Ave Maria, Padre Nuestro, El Credo. And you want to know something? If you want to know what all those related to, all that related to was after you like confess. All that relates to your confessions. So like a dumbass, you go, oiga, padrecito, pues el otro día estaba pecando. You know what I'm saying? And they keep you in that state of mind. And if you don't know that you're an Israelite, you will always think like that. So these wasps really have a number coming to them. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. And their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourn, leave these people, don't deal with them no more, because now you understand who you are, and go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt and were increased with gold and silver and very much cattle. Check this out. But here's what goes on, okay? But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, and they went into Egypt and sojourned there, while they were nourished and became great multitude, so that one could not number the nation. Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them and brought them low with laboring and break and made them slaves. Check this out. And they cried unto their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with an incurable plague. So exactly, explain that to me, Edward. Here we see that the Israelites were begging their father, listen, I'm tired of these Edomites, man. Well, in this case, Hamites, Mizraims. But like us right now, we're tired of Edomites. We're just sick of it, man. You guys are the most hypocritical nation in the entire Bible. And you see it in your actions. You claim to be Christians, but you're destroying families by supposedly deporting people that really shouldn't be deported. Like, seriously. And I'm not just talking about like indigenous, like Japanese people, Arabs. Like you're just doing it to just because you hate. You call that Christian though. So the Egyptians cast them out of their sight, right? So here he explains how, the Most High was with us when we were following. But check this out. Verse 17. And while they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that had hated iniquity was with them. So now, if we are not allowed to read the Bible, Edward, how will we understand iniquity? If we're only told a little bit of the Bible, so then we can only remember that when we go to confession. That's it. That's as far as we know about God. Your confession by 24/7. And you better know these, because when you're bad, money's bad. They taught us that money was bad. The root of all evil was money. That's Christianity. Remember, keep in mind, my grandmother, in her times, she was not allowed to read the Bible. My grandmother, okay? In 1903. Because Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe their final breath. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others, it makes them bleed deeper in something than larger than life, then his essence, his spirit, will be immortalized.
You think you know me? Entering the ring like a heavyweight champion, legendary king like my name is Fred Hampton. Vision of a sniper, Dino in my fibers. I can see the truth, no Rowdy Piper. Black Brown Messiah, one-on-one with the colonizer. Ropes on fire, tombstone power driver. Disciples assemble in Mayan symbols deciphered. Sacred prayers delivered, fulfill fate's desires. As the crowd gets louder, feels wild nostalgic. Lift them up, gorilla press, fearless as a falcon. Catch the BX live on BBC. That's when I hit 3DTs with DDTs. El Patron without Patron. For sovereignty, we work hustles and cross the border like take on the turnbuckle. Hit them with a spear, then a chair. Let them chair, administer my finisher, the signature, and it's severe.
Yeah. Check it.
You think you know me?
Abysmal with a pistol, execute corporatists in front of poverty. I mean, lyrically, I'm twisted, sea demon, heretic, embellishing the savagery repeatedly. Stabbing chest cavity, I run with the spirits, they burn at the stake. Curse you until death. Like Hod's way, we build raw ambush, mercenary convoys. Fallujah, 04, what I'm on, boy. Fuck Judge Dredd, leave a judge dead. Break down gates of heaven, leave them all red. Yes, the rhythm, the rebel. B-boy, changing levels, shooting for a double. Like a barrel, leave them riddled, let the rodents fiddle. In your vicinity, public enemies smashing. Burn it all down, see what grows from the ashes. Native threat, KF, hell yeah, they don't know what time it is. Yeah, get this shit.
You think you know
the
me?
first infinite earth resistance grew out the 818 with persistence. Grew to the hate they throw with my mission. Born to flip what they did with theirs. I'm only mad cause I care. I'm only mad cause I know what's out there. And it ain't fair. They grab a mask and a spear. I'm unattached to the fear. Fuck I look like sipping on a colonizer beer. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Talking about a virus, y'all act like you got closed eyelids. And what I find is they don't know what the time is. I'm an ancestor, I am timeless. I look within and the answers I find them. I'm not lost, I know the cost. Robbery is on to me. I'm Undertaker, choke slam the boss. Leave you hung in the ring, I don't give a fuck. And that's what's up, to the day I'm done. Cause no one escaped death. Death's got these focus all around us. And the ancestors are with us. So Hawan, put your feathers on and let them know what's up.
You think you know
This
me?
is Danza Azteca ceremony on the campus by the marigold flowers is where we lead the dances. I'm at war with Anglo-Saxons and our weapons have landed. Pre-Hispanic savage and them Yankees in the ashes. It's revenge for the sanctions that they put on Venezuela. En el Tahuantín suyo, el cóndor vuela. Plumas tied to the blower from a scarlet ibis. My medicine bag carries dreams inside it. Flower making preparation for the day of the dead. The reputation of my nation's what I swore to defend. The promise of death is what the mask represents. The liquor isn't needed to put me at ease. You can't wear my mascara, it belongs to a king. Y'all was taught to love the US, I was raised a little different. I was taught to keep them fucking colonizers to a distance. Them gringo spies wanna know who sent us. You'll have to take my life before you take my feathers.
I'm out on bail, the sheriffs try to unmask me. Sister in arms, Frosty, talk to him, hermana.
You think you
Ain't
know
got
me?
no papers for you to funnel me into your system. Assimilate my soul to psychological prison. Fuck your religion and all the blood on its hands. Your secret cemeteries where the spirits still dance. They offered money for our heads, put targets on our backs. So we lived in the shadows, whispering plans of attack. We withdraw you react. A gabacho gets slapped. Step back, motherfucker, you don't know me like that. This is my form of decrement of broken social agreements. You baby bloodsucking leeches, pervert political leaders, sinning as hard as the preachers. Only God can judge how your heart full of hate, but your mouth speaking love. I don't need to go to heaven, see I'm calling all your bluff. Maybe we can stop pretending, see my people had enough. Yes, all one love, but you still gotta duck. Better watch the way you move before they get you with the
Yeah, that's right. Women of freedom fighters too. Navy Jones, you know what the fuck to do.
You think you know me? Ooh, it's Mr. Diamond Moolah with the dirty ruga. Yo soy boricua, still a nigga with a sick medulla. My skin's a sin, the jinx be trying to genocide. A real nigga, and I say that with pride. This is it, boy. The new age revolution fighters get a grip, boy. Shooting in and out the gym, the clips don't miss, boy. I'm moving stealth like a real shooter. Might drop a bomb on a border wall abuser. Unify the people was pride and Fred Hampton. Climbing up a ladder, took an axe to my stanchion. Didn't know that I would bounce back deadly fashion. Mask on stash it, pistol blast and passion. If you could be anything that you put your mind to, but mind you, since the bow had a mouth full of swan dude. Jaganator coming through like Macho Man and UT. With a Booker T, you cross us wrong, you go 6 feet.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, is that Rex? Okay, let's go. Yeah, Rex, check these motherfuckers out here.
You think you know me?
Don't bother Rex, rip your heart from your chest. You want pain? Well then I leave my name carved in your flesh. They say sleep is the father of death. Why would you bother the best? I keep a bag of tools, carpenter vet. I clothesline, so I just slaughter the rest. Dinos and Aztecs, blast text if I send out this mass text. I fight sobriety, mass stress. I'm trying to move the culture forward. Conscious aura, death to who came before us. In blood I paint the forest, then cover my face, absorb it. Feel the torment of my bloodline. Sacrificed, I'm a martyr, free Palestine. And if the media too promotes slander, that's what the media do. Instead of exposing the truth, we get shot and killed, controlled like a zoo. But let nationalists march the Capitol holding the noose. I lace my boots and